Good morning everyone. Let me start with a simple question. If I gave you 1 Indian rupee crore today, would you be excited? Of course you would. Now here's the real question. What if I gave you 24 extra hours every day? That would be priceless. Because money can be earned again. Time cannot. The difference between successful people and average people is not intelligence. It's not luck. It's not even hard work alone. The real difference is how they think about time. Successful people don't see time as something to spend. They see time as something to invest. Average thinking says, let me finish this day. Winner thinking says, let me build my future today. Successful people plan their lives in years, but they win in days. They don't wake up hoping for motivation. They wake up with intention. They protect their best hours like treasure. Not for scrolling. Not for gossip. But for deep work. For building skills. For working on the one thing that moves their life forward. Here's a habit of winners. They say no more often than they say yes. Not because they are rude. But because every yes to distraction is a no to destiny. They understand leverage. They don't just work harder. They work smarter. 1 hour of focused work is worth more than 10 hours of distracted effort. Winners also respect deadlines. Deadlines don't create pressure. They create progress. When there's no deadline, dreams stay dreams. When there's a deadline, dreams become plans. And here's something most people ignore. Successful people review their time. They ask themselves, what did I do well today? What wasted my energy? What will I improve tomorrow? They don't wait for New Year's resolutions. They improve daily. Because small improvements done daily become massive success over time. Let me leave you with this. Your future is not decided by your talent. Your future is decided by your daily time habits. How you use the next 1 hour will quietly decide who you become in the next 5 years. So choose wisely. Choose focus over distraction. Choose progress over comfort. Choose discipline over delay. Because winners are not born. They are built, one focused day at a time. Time is the only resource that never increases, no matter how ambitious your goals are. Money can be recovered, opportunities can reappear, and energy can be rebuilt, but time moves in only one direction. Successful people understand this deeply. They don't treat time like loose change that can be casually spent on whatever feels urgent in the moment. They treat it like capital that must be invested wisely. Every hour placed into learning, building skills, strengthening relationships, or creating value compounds quietly in the background. In contrast, hours lost to distraction, delay, and mindless consumption create no return. This mindset shifts everyday decisions. Instead of asking, how do I pass time, the better question becomes, how will this hour pay me back in growth, clarity, or impact? When time is viewed as an investment, priorities sharpen, distractions lose their charm, and effort becomes intentional. Small, focused investments made consistently may look unimpressive at first, but over months and years they produce results that appear sudden to those who were not paying attention. Long-term thinking gives direction, but daily action gives momentum. Successful people carry a clear picture of where they want to be years from now, yet they do not wait for the perfect future to begin. They break big visions into small, manageable steps that can be taken today. Planning in years creates purpose, but acting daily creates progress. Without a long horizon, daily work feels random and exhausting. Without daily action, long-term plans remain ideas with no substance. When the two are combined, each day becomes meaningful because it serves a larger direction. This approach reduces overwhelm, because the focus shifts from trying to solve everything at once to simply doing the next right action with consistency. Over time, These small actions stack into habits, habits shape identity, and identity shapes destiny. The future is not built in dramatic moments of inspiration, but in quiet, repeated choices made when no one is watching. Each day becomes a vote for the person you are becoming, and each focused action moves the timeline of your goals closer into reality. Every person has a few hours in the day when the mind is sharper, energy is higher, and focus feels more natural. Successful people learn to recognize these peak hours and guard them with intention. They do not donate their best thinking time to distractions, endless notifications, or low-value tasks. Instead, they reserve those hours for work that requires creativity, strategy, and deep concentration. This habit alone can multiply results without increasing total working time. When the most demanding tasks are placed in the most powerful mental window, progress accelerates and quality rises. The day begins to feel purposeful rather than reactive, and momentum builds early, shaping the tone for everything that follows. Over time, the mind learns to associate these protected hours with meaningful output, making focus easier to enter and harder to break. What once required force becomes a natural rhythm, and discipline turns into routine. Saying no is not an act of rejection, it is an act of alignment. Every commitment carries a hidden cost in time, attention, and energy. Successful people understand that the calendar reveals values more honestly than words ever could. When the schedule is filled with pleasant but low-impact activities, the most important goals quietly lose oxygen. Learning to decline good opportunities creates space for great ones. This is not about isolation or selfishness, but about choosing depth over noise. When fewer things compete for attention, the mind becomes calmer, decisions become clearer, and effort becomes more effective. Boundaries protect focus, and focus protects progress. Over time, this habit builds a life that feels intentional rather than crowded. Each thoughtful no strengthens the ability to say a powerful yes to the work that truly matters, and that choice compounds into direction, clarity, and meaningful advancement. Hard work creates movement, but leverage creates momentum. Successful people look for ways to make each unit of effort carry more weight. They invest in skills that multiply outcomes, systems that reduce friction, and tools that extend reach. Instead of repeating the same small actions endlessly, they design processes that continue to work even when attention moves elsewhere. Learning how to automate routine tasks, delegate what does not require personal judgment, and focus on strengths allows energy to flow toward work that truly changes results. Leverage is not about doing less meaningful work. It is about removing unnecessary strain so that meaningful work receives the best focus. When effort is aligned with high-impact activities, progress accelerates without burnout. Over time, small improvements in leverage compound into a powerful advantage that separates steady movers from true builders. Deadlines create structure for intention. Without a clear time boundary, goals drift and urgency dissolves into vague plans. Successful people use deadlines as anchors that pull action into the present moment. A deadline turns desire into commitment and transforms possibility into movement. It gives shape to effort and protects focus from endless preparation. Rather than waiting for perfect conditions, they choose a date and work backward, breaking large goals into smaller actions that fit within the available time. This creates rhythm, accountability, and momentum. When progress is measured against a clock, feedback becomes immediate and adjustments become faster. The mind becomes trained to move from planning into doing. Over time, meeting deadlines builds trust with oneself, and that trust strengthens confidence. Each completed commitment reinforces the belief that consistent action produces real outcomes, and that belief fuels continued progress. Growth accelerates when reflection becomes a daily practice rather than an occasional ritual. Successful people create space to look back at their actions, not with harsh judgment, but with honest curiosity. They review choices, notice patterns, and extract lessons while the experience is still fresh in the mind. This habit prevents small mistakes from becoming long-term habits and turns ordinary days into classrooms for improvement. When reflection is regular, awareness sharpens, and awareness creates the power to adjust direction quickly. Instead of repeating the same errors for years, course correction happens within days or even hours. This steady loop of action and reflection builds self-trust, because progress is no longer accidental but guided. Each review plants a seed of clarity that influences the next decision, making improvement a continuous process woven into daily life. Small moments carry more weight than they appear to hold. The way time is used in ordinary, unnoticed minutes shapes the direction of an entire life. Successful people respect these moments because they understand that consistency lives in the small choices made when no one is watching. A few focused minutes of learning each day can reshape thinking over months. A brief pause to reset attention can change the quality of the next hour. These moments seem insignificant in isolation, yet they quietly determine habits, and habits quietly determine outcomes. When small moments are treated with care, discipline becomes gentle rather than heavy. Progress stops feeling like a dramatic effort and starts feeling like a natural flow built from tiny, repeated actions. Over time, these choices create a powerful undercurrent that carries goals forward with steady force.